All right, guys, welcome to Empowered Elites Team Call for February 21st. I wanted to just cover a couple of things real quick before we let Kelly rock the show. First and foremost, I wanted to post a reminder. Congratulations to the coaches who have locked in Success Club already for this month. And just a reminder that if it is one of your goals to be at our Empowered Elites Level Up Leadership Retreat, that hitting Success Club monthly is non-negotiable. But just because I am who I am, I decided that I'm going to give a 1 month grace. So if at any point in time between now and September you miss Success Club for 1 month, that won't negatively affect as long as you reach all other qualifications. So I just wanted to make that known because I would love to have you guys there with us. But this is a leadership retreat, and it is to celebrate the success and the consistency and the dedication of you growing your businesses and changing lives consistently. So just know that that is one of the qualifications if you missed that. The next thing is that I posted a couple times about doing a basics challenge for the team, and a bunch of you said like, yeah, I want to do that. So I've just been kind of brainstorming ideas of how to do it in a way that is helpful rather than like more on top of your plate to where it would be more stressful. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch it and announce it for March. And it's just going to be like I'm making a brand new like power hour scheduled to-do list, which includes Facebook and Instagram, because I think that most of us are really trying to branch into Instagram as well now. And I don't know if you're like me, but it's a little tricky to kind of get the hang of consistently doing both. So I'm just putting like the really, really basic things on there. And if you want to do more than that, that's awesome. But we're just going to have it be kind of fun and accountability and helping everybody really stick to those consistent basics that create momentum and create success and help you achieve bigger goals, and just do fun prizes. And I think it's awesome to really kind of lean into the accountability of doing that together, as a team. So, just know that that is coming. The next thing is I posted last night, and I just wanted to remind you guys that are on here, but I posted about accountability and how important that is. And it was something that I really was thinking about because I had a call with my corporate mentor yesterday. And up until that point, like I hadn't really shared my goals with anybody but my success partner. And it really like makes them so much more real when you are clear on what your goals are and you share them with someone that can check in with you, that mentors you or that guides you or that you work closely with, so that you can kind of check in and see how you're progressing with things, or they can remind you why you're here and what you're working towards when you struggle, or they can celebrate with you when you have small wins throughout the week, or achieve goals as you work towards those things. So I just wanted to encourage you again to share those goals with someone for accountability, someone on the team or your coach, your mentor, me. I don't care who you share them with, but just writing them on paper or letting them swirl around in your head is not enough. You kind of need that glue to make them stick and be the wind at your back. So figure out what those are and share them with somebody for accountability. Two more things. Our next coach sneak peek is going to be on Sunday night at 8:30. A couple of you have already signed up to speak on that, so that's going to be awesome. But I just really want to like nail in, guys, like if you really want to see growth in your business, you have to be sharing the coaching opportunity. Hitting Success Club is so incredibly important. Yes, you want to be helping people, but if you want to grow and you want to see rank advancing and you want to have fun and fulfillment working with coaches that are eager and hungry, like you are, and you want to really start to grow that residual income, sharing the coaching opportunity is so important. And just remember, when you feel that fear about sharing the opportunity, think about what this has done for your life, the community, the sisterhood, the the personal growth, income aside, the fulfillment you feel, all of those things that this business has given you, think about the fact that that is a gift you are giving someone else the opportunity to take, and whether they take it or not is on them, and disconnect really from the outcome. So get out there and have fun sharing the opportunity. And you never know who this could be for unless you ask, right? You might once in a while invite somebody totally on a whim and they're like, yes, I'm totally interested. So it's just kind of that reminder of, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. But if you ask, you never know who's going to say yes. So that is Sunday night. And the last thing I wanted to share about that is, I know probably a month or so ago, I prompted all of us to try and come up with sharing like our coach success story. It's kind of hard to collect all of those to put into a document. So what I'm personally going to be doing, and if you want to start doing this yourself and we can kind of collect these and make a document as we go, is I'm going to be making an intention to share a coach spotlight success story once a week. And I'm going to be reaching out to whoever that coach is and asking a few questions so that I can share their story, their success, their perspective, why they love this, what this has done for them on social media. Because remember that, and Kelly, I saw you shared the video from Obsessed with Diamond to your page, I think. Huh?
They tried, and then they said they can't access.
They can't see it if they're not in the group is the problem. Yeah. But I'm going to kind of recap on that and go live on our team page about it. But the girl who did this video talks a lot about sharing the coaching opportunity as part-time, because the majority of people, like, I personally can say that I have always kind of promoted this as like a life by design, fulfillment, freedom, whatever, which a lot of people don't really vibe with that. And a lot of people are super skeptic of it. And reality is, a lot of people don't ever want to be full-time, but they would love to have something that gives them more fulfillment, that helps them pay off debt, that gives them, the ability to travel more, that gives them that community and those friendships. So really working on sharing the kind of part-time potential with coaching, because that is most of what our team is doing. And that is what a lot of people are going to connect to. So I would suggest that if you aren't, sharing anybody else's coaching successes, like reach out to somebody on the team and be like, hey girl, can I share your coaching story today? Or can I make a post about you and what you've done so far? Because we have so many different diverse backgrounds and dynamics on this team, and people that do it for so many different reasons, that we need to really utilize that to share what the potential of coaching is. So that is my spiel. I asked Kelly to hop on and share tonight. If you guys didn't know, Kelly got to earn her spot to New Leadership Conference in LA, which is such an incredible event. It is so much smaller than events like Summit and just so intimate and hands-on. And I asked her if she would come share her experience and some of her takeaways with you, and just kind of give you that little nugget of inspiration that if that is something you are thinking about, that it is totally possible for you too. So thanks for hopping on, Kelly. Be quiet now.
All right, guys, get ready to get some paper and pen ready, because you're going to want to take some notes. So, quick thing. So first, I went out to New Leadership knowing no one. I wish I had like some of the people on team to kind of go with. I didn't know anyone. So it was a little scary. However, when I quickly realized I wasn't going to know anyone there, I started to reach out to the people whenever they were getting announced in the New England Beachbody kind of group or Northeast. I would see people would hit like 1-star, 2-star, and they would say, Jeff Matheson would be like, oh, they're going to New Leadership. So quickly I wrote them privately, and I was like, hey, basically I'm going to be your new best friend. So I wrote them and started to kind of buddy up with some of the girls. One of the girls ended up being someone who was from Massachusetts. So she and I connected. We flew out together, which was great because she was like wicked scared to fly. And we got a hotel room the first night together because I extended my stay, which I was kind of I'm not sure about, but it ended up being such a great opportunity because she brought two people that she knew into our room. So the first night, the four of us stayed together, and it was great because we all got to go out to dinner. There was about 9 of us between other people on the team. And I got to hear a lot about what they're doing on their teams and their upline. And I'm going to butcher his name. Is it Patrick? What? Patrick
Reilman.
Reilman. Okay. Patrick Reilman. So I remember, did butcher it again? Did I just do it? Whatever. Patrick someone. But he
Our works are.
he, his whole family's doing this, like his mom, his dad, his sisters, and him. Like he obviously is making bank. He has a huge team, but it was really interesting to kind of see the positives and negatives of such a massive team compared to kind of like, we have a big team, but it's not like that. And I think I'm kind of excited that it's not like that because there were a lot of positives with that and negatives too. So it was really cool. So right away, it was great because it is really small. We stayed in this awesome hotel in LA. The first day we got there and we were able to go to corporate, which I know I posted a lot of pictures on. Corporate isn't like massive, but it was really cool to walk in. They had balloons everywhere. They had all these different people that were going to show us and take us into little groups all around the building. We got to see the Shaker wall. We got to see people were doing like push-ups as like jokes, like all coming on in. We got to see the Premier wall. So they have a little wall that's glassed in for people that are Premier, and Laura Gallup was in there. So I was so excited to get a picture and send it to her. There was a wall that had Daily Sunshine. I had little pictures that made up this big poster on a wall of Daily Sunshine. And very quickly I turned and I screamed on the tour. I'm like, oh my God, that's me. And so it was all of us in with Autumn when we were at our Empowered Elite luncheon. So it was pretty cool. So anyway, corporate itself was great, amazing workout space. They had everyone, they promote every single person that is there, morning, noon, and night. Whoever's working there corporate-wise is supposed to come and work out. That's their goal. They want to kind of be a product of the product as well. They have Shakeology, kind of bars and people that kind of make stuff for them. So they're really kind of practicing what they obviously preach to us, which was just nice to see. And it was a really like happy, fun environment. So we got to do that the first day. And then the second day kind of dove into our talks and then like a welcome reception. So the talks that we had were from obviously all the top leaders. We had Carl, we had Jeff, we had Michael Neiman, and then we had top coaches, Bonnie Engel, Kim Fitzpatrick, and Melanie Mitro. And then we had a lot of coach stories, people that came on stage that kind of told us their story. So I'm going to kind of go in. There's a lot of information. So I'm going to kind of go through as quick as I can, but to cover the basics. First, Carl popped in and he just pushed and emphasized the importance of what we always hear, the 4 vital behaviors. If we are not inviting daily to both, to the coaching opportunity and to our groups, if we're not inviting daily, if we're not adding people daily, and that's also a lot easier to do on Instagram now, but adding to our network daily, actually inviting daily, then it's not going to really go anywhere. We can't go into it. We're not the Bonnie Engels of the world that all of a sudden just post something and like 40 people sign up with her. And, you know, maybe that's where we want to be, but we have to take that step on inviting, and we can't just have people assume because it doesn't work that way. And that's not how your business is going to get there. So things have changed a little bit in regards to what you do when it comes to posting in Instagram, at least what I'll get into. I know before for Facebook, we've always kind of heard, you know, kind of post 3 times a day, you know, morning, noon, and night, be visible. Facebook, that might work well with, but Instagram is a little different. So when it came to Carl, that was basically him starting off saying, you know, we got to do the basics to be able to get to where we want to do. They then introduced Kim Fitzpatrick, and I actually didn't know her story. She was a ball of energy, and she was just like a complete fireball. She actually posted on her Instagram story a poll to say, like, what pants should I wear for this amazing talk I'm going to give, you know, at NLC? And it was like just normal pants, like crazy pants, like all this stuff. She said she ended up picking and wearing the ones that were the ugliest that no one voted for, because she said it's all about standing out. You don't have to go with the grain. Do what makes, you, and just step out of the box type of thing. So they were crazy. They were like palm trees all over. But she was really interesting because this time last year, she attended NLC. She just barely attended NLC. And now she's a 5-star elite coach in 1 year. Okay. She's from Canada. Her husband is obviously, he's I think started, and then she jumped on board with him. So he's, an amazing coach that probably has like 1,000, stars. I don't know his background, but I do know that he kind of started it. But her quick background in general was that when she was, when her mom was pregnant, she found out that she had cancer. She decided, the doctors told her that you either can start treatment knowing that you will likely have to terminate your pregnancy, or you don't do anything and there's a good chance the outcome won't be good. So then she starts getting very tearful, and she said, I was born and 9 months later my mother passed away. So she said that she was raised in this town in Canada that still to this day, people will come up to her saying, I like rocked you as a baby to sleep because your dad needed help and the whole church basically raised you. We put clothes on you. We fed you. Like just this whole, she had obviously a very difficult upbringing. But she said she feels as though it's always made her have this feeling like that she needs to serve and help others. And she kept saying serve. She's like, I serve my challengers. I serve my coaches. It was a thing. She's like, I'm giving them and I'm, supporting them. And it was just kind of a phrase she kept saying. But she said that about out of her, between her and her husband, 30 diamonds that she has with her husband, 26 of them were challengers and clients first. So of course, the more that we're able to give people that come into our challenge groups an amazing experience and amazing success. It's not about just throwing them in here and then basically expecting them to have these amazing results. We want to throw them in here, not throw them in, but you know what I mean? Put them in here and basically make sure they get these results. And that's going to go back to touching base with them. Maybe it's doing the, getting started right calls, and checking in a week or two later, then checking in, certain periods of time. But we need to, as she said, we need to create the magic for them, and results matter. If they don't have any results, they're not going to want to share this with anyone else, and they're not going to want to share that to actually consider coaching. She has a 39-page resource guide as soon as someone signs up that she gives them. And I was like, wait a minute. I have like an email, and I was like, what is this all about? And she said that most of the forms, which I know, bad on me, are in our BOD, on our Coach Online office, that most of the forms she pulls from there, and she might tailor some of them, but it's simple things like program guide. She does things like, she also has a monthly book club with her challenge group. So everyone reads that same book. They come together on a Zoom, they talk about it, and it's usually some sort of PD. She posts in there about vision boards so that everyone creates their own vision board, and because that's something obviously that's important. She has food guides, she puts in recipes. So she basically gives them a booklet of all this the day one. She also says she puts in their expectations when it comes to what people should be coming to her for and where they can look for a resource. Because she said, I'm here for them, but I'm not going to be with them 24 hours a day. And they need to figure out ways to find some of this, because she's like, I'm not going to be on my phone 24 hours a day. So she said, set them up to kind of know what the expectation is, when to reach out to me, when not, blah, blah, blah. So that's something I took away of saying, all right, I need to create more of these things for people and resource guides to kind of help them with a lot of those kind of common questions. She said that we need to also become irreplaceable, so that they can't just say we're done and moving on to the next thing, but that we are their resource and we are their support system, their cheerleader, everything. And she even has them sign a personal commitment contract that basically, she didn't say, I think actually, honestly, I think I do have a copy of it. I will post a bunch in Empowered Elite after of a lot of the slides that we had. I just don't want to go through those all right now, or else I'll take up the time, but I'll post the slides that were specific to certain topics. You guys can all see those. But she said, I want people to know that this is serious. They're committing to this, and, you know, that they're going to sign this contract, you know, to basically make it more so kind of serious for them. So that was basically a lot on Kim Fitzpatrick. She kind of talked to us later a little bit more. Then we moved on to Bonnie Engel. And those of you that don't know Bonnie, she's obviously been one of the top 10 coaches for a while. But what was really interesting to hear too is she was 2-star 3 years ago. And she said in her 2 stars were her husband and her hubby. So she said it wasn't like she had this massive group of coaches at that point. She basically just worked them to get to where she needed to be to get to 2-star. And obviously one of the big reasons, and I've always known that 2-star is obviously a huge goal, at least for mine, but hearing the other women in the group talk about how 2-star, we want to get to diamond, that's obviously a must, but then 2-star, because 2-star is where obviously you make your money grows a lot more because you're obviously double dipping. So if you open a second business center, then I could, like, if I open up under Brian, then I can end up double dipping and put my people under him, but then I'm basically getting that residual income from what he's pulling in because he's under me and now it's me. So it just keeps trickling down. But the girl that I flew with, she just became 2-star in January. And she said even in the month that she only has 2 diamonds, she said that the money difference was a huge difference for her for just in a month's period of time. So I think we have to all set our sights on obviously diamond because you got to get there. But 2-star should really be that place that we're really aiming for. And once you get to 2-star, even if you lose rank, you don't lose your second business center, which is really huge because I was 1-star and I'm still back to diamond. So I was like, no. So Bonnie Engel, she went from 2-star, and guess how many stars she was by this time, 1 year later? 15-star diamond. So she went from 2-star to 15-star in a 1 year period of time. And that kind of blew me away because of the fact that I feel like I only move in baby increments. And I feel like I was the longest person on this whole team to get to diamond, but it's okay, guys. I'm here. So it still can work for you. And now she's a 2-time top 10 team. She said that people need to start stepping up their fun game. You need to have fun. You need to start showing you. You can't be just, blah, here's my workout picture, here's this. Like, you got to be fun. You got to be someone that someone's going to want to come and join your team. So she said, stop doing what people did before, and we need to start evolving and kind of do what we need to evolve. And her big thing with that was that she was so anti-Instagram because she said, I'm an elite coach, I'm top 10 coach, I've done everything on Facebook, I don't need to do anything more. Like, I am comfy and I am good. And then she finally started to see that she really needed to go into the Instagram world. So she said that she started, doing Instagram stories. And when she started to do the Instagram story, she says she does one every single day. She keeps adding on, and she encouraged all of us to do that because there's a lot of people in Europe and different countries that look a lot towards stories versus just the picture. And it really gives a better idea of what you're all about. But she said with the stories, she shows every day little things about what the coaching opportunity has done for her. She's not just blatantly always saying it, but showing little things. Like, there's a picture of her, like, with her belly pregnant. She's laying in her slippers on her bed, with a laptop on, sending messages to someone saying, thank God, this opportunity. I love working and connecting with my team, from my bed in my slippers when I'm like 6 months pregnant, whatever. But she said, I share the coaching opportunity every day. I share an invite every day in a different types of way. So I'd recommend follow her so you can kind of see what she's doing. But she said on Instagram, it's different. You want 1 to 2 power-packed posts a day. You don't need to do a morning, noon, and night thing like Facebook. You want 1 or 2 a day that are really just going to go in and have people attracted to it and want to see more about it or just interested in about it. Once again, we're not showing, here's my Shakeology, here's my 8-a-day obsession. We want people to be curious on what you're drinking, curious on what you're doing, so they reach out to you and ask a question. She said that last month in January, just for people on her Instagram stories, she had 40 personally sponsored coaches that signed up with her. And of course I was like, oh, at that point I was just trying to hit Success Club. And I was like, I'm trying to get SC2. So I was like so frustrated, but she had 40 and they were from Instagram. She said, I'm sorry. Yeah. She said 40 of them were from her Instagram stories. And she said that it was only like 5 that weren't. So basically everyone came from that. And she goes, there were people I did not know. They followed me. I reached out to them. I basically was like, hey, thanks so much, blah, blah, blah. She goes, I sent a short little thing, just basically thanking them for following me and, you know, started that lingo, started that, you know, conversation back and forth. She said, let's go from here. Going from here. Yep. If I can find the answer from your picks, then they're not going to want to go to you. So don't give them the answer. And then she said also that 80% of people end up nowadays buying online from some sort of social media ad or some sort of social media post. We are not going to malls. We're not going to places for things. We are going to see little browsers that pop up. We're going to the infomercials. We're going to all of that. So if 80% of people are doing their purchasing through that, we need to be that person they want to go to, and we need to be posting about it because once again, then they'll come to us. So that was kind of the things with Bonnie first. And then we move on to Melanie Mitro. Melanie started talking a lot about the success and life balance. And I liked this one a lot because she started off saying she started this whole thing in July of 2011. She said it took 2 years for her and her husband to get on the same page about this Beachbody thing. She said it got really dicey to the point that her focus was completely Beachbody because she was doing the stay-at-home mom thing and she didn't get to do any of her work then. So as soon as her husband would come home from work, she'd take her kids, throw them to her husband, and go run in the room and get on calls and get on meetings and those types of things. I related to this a lot because my husband's extremely supportive, but there's definitely been those conversations back and forth. And I hear it from him. I hear it from my kids. So I'm trying to like find, all right, what's the balance? Because as she even said, he walked in one day and said, it's me or this. And she said quickly, obviously I'm done. It's our family. But then she pulled back, but he quickly saw like how happy she was doing this and how passionate she was about helping others and that this was something she just really enjoyed doing. It helped her in her own self-esteem and it helped her be able to provide and do something for the family that she would never be able to do without throwing the kids back in daycare. So they found out they needed to have a schedule. And I did this right on the plane. I was super excited because everyone knows I do not like Gmail, and I did like my own Google Doc and I made a little calendar and I even sent it to my husband on the plane. I was like, I'm going to do this. I can figure this out. And, she said something, a quote that kind of got to me, and it was saying, I want to give my kids the best of me, not the rest of me. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, aha, I know this, but hearing it in that form kind of sucker punched. So she has a calendar. She syncs up with her husband. She sends it every week. And basically what she puts in first is she puts in her family time. So that's usually every day after school between like 3 to 7 at night or whatever it is, so that she knows the kids get off the bus. She does work. She does dinner. She does baths. She plays with them, whatever. Then the next thing she puts in is her workouts, because she says if she's not working out, there's no reason to be doing this business because you're not going to be proof of the product. So she puts her workouts. She chooses to get up every day at 5:30 and do it at 5:30 in the morning because it doesn't affect her family time. She said that doesn't mean it works for everyone. Some people are night, some people whatever, but that she puts it in the morning time. Then those are done. Then as the kids are at school, she blocks and does her team calls then. She does checking in with new challengers. She does like setting up her, next month's kind of challenges, all those types of things. So that basically she goes, sometimes at night I will have one. So it might be like a Tuesday night call. And I'll just tell my husband Tuesday night at night, I'm going to be on this call, but the other nights I'm not, so they are all in agreement kind of where things go. And she gets blocked like 2 or 3 hour periods that she can get this work done. And she said, even if it means that you get up early on a Saturday and you get a power hour in, a power 45-minute in, you can make it work if we all have the same 24 hours in a day. So it's a matter of how we use them. And just really what's important. So I liked that piece of it. She said that, let me see right here. She said also focus your energy on people that are going to be your runners. That a lot of times she found out in the beginning, she would focus a lot of one-on-one energy with people that were not wanting this. And so if all your energy was spent doing these one-on-one calls with people that really weren't doing what they need to do to be able to make this succeed, then ultimately that's not going to get you very far in your business. So you might want to spend that time, that one-on-one time, trying to find those next go-getters or trying to connect with people in your group that might be that next go-getter. So just to kind of be aware of that. Okay, next was, they just started talking about how to drive up volume in general. So some just quick takeaways. We want to obviously get our volume up in general when it comes to just payment, when it comes to certain rankings, certain things like that. So they said, how do you add volume? Obviously by adding coaches and challengers and people to your network. We know that. Increase retention on those that actually are using Shakeology. If all these people are just getting a challenge pack and then by next month they're gone, there's no residual volume that's coming in. So really share within your groups the importance and how vital Shakeology is, which I'm going to dive into in a minute because Mr. Luigi gave us a big talk on Shakeology. But trying to get those people to stay on Shako. Introduce new products. So it's not a bad idea to 2 or 3 times a year have those big groups that are doing a 3-day refresh, or hey, maybe promoting Fix A Cookbook or the performance line. Maybe in a challenge group, give out some winners, some samples of things like, Hydrate, Energize, so that when people try it, they say, this is awesome. And then they want to get it for themselves. And then just obviously work towards getting like strong diamonds. So people that are underneath you that are strong, so that we know how many it takes to get to diamond, but we want to really make them a strong diamond, meaning adding more people on their left and right side. So if someone person falls off because they're not drinking their Shako, they have backup, and now we have people there. So just really keep overpopulate, basically overstack them, so that you can have a strong diamond. Okay, another girl, I will say, she was Emerald this time last year, and she was there and she popped up and she ended up being an elite coach and was a 5-star coach as well. So I was super impressed with her because I think I see Emerald and I'm like, okay, Emerald. And I always think it's diamond, that's where we're going to be at. But to see that in a year, once again, she went from Emerald to a 5-star and is now an elite coach. It was such a huge change. And a lot of that is obviously trying to find active coaches. So much, I feel like I've been searching for active coaches as well, but a lot of my business has been through challenge packs, and I've been here for a while and I haven't gone up as fast as I had hoped. And I know a lot of that is just because of the fact that I don't have active coaches. So yes, in the beginning, we're super excited getting to certain ranks, but you need to find those runners because you're just going to stay status quo, and that's fine. And that might be great. And that might be where you want to be. And that's great. But for me, I want to get higher and I want to get to my second business center and then go from there. So really searching for people. And I've started in general and I will thank Kelly Spencer Joy for this one, because I love her thought process of when you invite people to a challenge, they may consider it almost a little bit offensive because you're basically saying to them, you need to lose weight, or you don't look good, or, it almost feels like an insult, although I know we aren't taking that as an insult. But then to say to a coach and go after someone and say, you know what, I love your whole vibe, everything about you looks like you would be perfect for my team. You look so fitness, health-minded, oriented, blah, 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 whatever it is that you want to say, but you're basically just not lying, but you're giving them all this positive feedback, telling them basically how awesome they are. And every time I've done that, I've literally sat with pieces of paper on Instagram, and I'll go through and do one hashtag, and I'll go whatever it is, type 1 diabetes. And I'll look up people just by their pictures, and then I'll go into their things. I'm like, oh, she looks cool. She looks totally fun. She looks like my vibe, or blah, blah, blah. And I'll write them down. And I've just started to bang out shooting people messages. And I just don't even care because I figure I am still going through people within my challenges, but I also need to think outside the box. And if it's not always working there, well, let's try something else and see if it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Yay, Chrissy. Okay. So now we're back into Elite. So you can get to NLC, and they lowered the rankings, thank God, or else I wouldn't have been there, to 1 star at the end of last year. So, and they've kept it for this upcoming year. So it's in February for next year, again in LA, and it's a 1-star qualifying, okay? You guys can all get there. You can all get there. If you get, once again, it could be 2 family members. It could be someone within your family. It could be you have 1 go-getter coach and then you do a significant other. There's a lot of ways to kind of get there. But I think I want you all to try to get there, because this, for me, having been to Summit and having been to this, I love them both. I feel like Summit is more of a time that we're obviously learning a whole lot, but I feel like it's also more of like a team building time of all of us coming together and just having a great time and connecting and just building friendships as well as learning. I get that, but I feel like it's a little bit more like a fun type of thing. NLC is fun, but there's also a lot. It's so small. Like Jeff Hill goes and sits down at breakfast with people. Like I went over and Carl was asking questions. I yelled at Autumn. Of course, I yelled at Autumn. She went away before I could get a picture with her, and I was at the end of a line because I was too busy getting champagne. And then she left. And so I literally was like yelling, Autumn! I'm like, are you coming back? And then she was like, tomorrow. She didn't. She was full of shit. But I was like, who cares? Like, she's right there. And they were just so just personable in general. And everyone was just wanting to really know more about how did this start? Like Lacey Larson, she sends a lot of emails, I think, to everyone. Or maybe, yeah, she sent it to everyone. I don't know what format she's in, but Lacey Larson is part of corporate, and I get emails from her all the time. But I got to go up to her and I was talking with her, and she just really wanted to know like how I got into this, what my struggles were, like why I like it, why I don't, like just really wanted to talk. And we talked for a really long time one night, and she was great. And I wouldn't have had that opportunity elsewhere. And I'm connecting with so many other coaches that are top coaches across the country and hearing kind of their thoughts. The girl I roomed with, she was ranked. It was funny. We were all at dinner and we're at the Yard House, and everyone pulls out their phones because, of course, we're all Beachbody coaches, and we're like snapping pictures and like posting it. We're like, we can get away with this here. And everyone starts pulling out their ranking because they found out it obviously came out that day. And the girl right next to me, she was like, I'm ranked number 19 in all of Beachbody. And I was like, okay. So I was like picking her brain. We were like laying in bed, like on our computers. And then at 5 a.m., we went downstairs to Power Hour together. And I'm like, okay, tell me what you're doing, what you're not doing. And it was just nice to hear some of that. So big thing, make sure you get to NLC. You need, it's not going to take that much. So make that your goal this year, because I think once you come back, and anytime you go to a Beachbody event, you feel life, you feel more invested, you feel more excited, and you get to share these opportunities on social media to see, look what trip I earned, and other people are going to start watching you, and they're going to be more interested in what you're doing versus not, you're working out at home and that's great, but to share, you get to do these events, whether it's, Success Club trips, whether it's Super Saturdays, whether it's Summit, whether it's NLC, whatever you're doing, it's pretty enticing, and people really want to, like, I don't know. I know I would want to be a part of it. So it was really excited to go. Premier Elite points, of course, big thing. Premier, you have to be a 2-star. Another reason I really want Premier this year, you have to be a 2-star, and you have to have 105 Elite points. Elite, you have to be a 5-star and 105 Elite points. They changed the way that they are doing Elite points system this year. I'm not going to dive all into it because I really don't know half of it. But we can post about it. But basically, know that there's a potential that you could go just like these other people and be a sitting emerald this year. And then by next time at NLC, you could be an elite, top coach. And there's no reason to not think about that and to not feel like that's a possibility. Okay, now I'm going to go in for a second on Shakeology because Dr. Luigi came out.
Kelly, can I stop you for a second?
Yep.
Can we see does anybody have any questions about anything she mentioned before she goes on? I know sometimes if I don't ask questions, I forget by the end.
Totally. And I just keep talking.
It's all great though. It's so great. No? Okay, go for it.
Okay. So Shakeout, we know, rocks. And basically they said that it's hard for us in the market that we're in right now because Shakeology's been around for 9 years. In the beginning, there wasn't many shakes. Now he posted a graphic, there are like a cajillion shakes. So of course everyone's like, oh, it's just another shake, blah, blah, blah. He went into talking about how in general, obviously it's not, but that the probiotics taken that are in Shakeology obviously help overall the intestine eat up kind of the bad crud that goes into there. He was talking about in general the differences between omega-6s and omega-3s, and they said, case in point, like Japan is a country that doesn't have a lot of omega-6s in their diet, and they are the ones that tend to live longer. And some basic things that are omega-6s are things like poultry, eggs, nuts, cereals, wheat, grains, vegetable oils. They said those things are okay in moderation, but when you actually have too much of them, which our country tends to have way too much of it, then it actually has some pretty negative effects. And some of them are, in general, that it causes your triglycerides to go up, which obviously increases risk for heart disease. It actually shows that when you have more omega-3s in your diet, it actually curbs a lot of the joint pain and stiffness in someone with rheumatoid arthritis. There's studies that's been shown that it actually lowers depression levels and actually really helps. It might source some of the depressive symptoms with people with bipolar. Obviously, medications you understand are needed for that stuff, but it might help with some of that. DHA, we know, is a common thing that women that are pregnant, they encourage to be able to have because it helps neurological and vision when it comes to unborn child. Diet high in omega-3 reduces lower risk for asthma. There's actually been links to ADHD and ADD when it comes to diets that are high in omega-6. They're still doing some more studies on that, but there was enough. And even when I just did a search online quickly to see like before this, if things would come up, there was saying that there was more stuff coming out about people that eat a lot of those foods tend to have a potential higher risk factor for ADHD. There's been protection against, dementia, memory issues because of that. And of course, when you have those things in general, it reduces factors of obesity and diabetes. So just by having more omega-3s in your diet, which is where Shakeology fits in because it does, then it helps a lot of those different areas. In general, they use a premium protein blend that has 16 plus grams of protein per serving. And he was saying that in general, we obviously need a certain amount of protein to be able to live, but the heart really needs a certain amount of protein. And in general, women should have about 50 grams a day and men about 60 grams a day. And so by getting that one scoop, it's getting a pretty large amount of that already for you. And then let's see what else. Oh, when people give you the whole rebuttal of Shakeology has too much sugar. Okay, so Shakeology has too much sugar. I'm going to go to something else that doesn't have that amount of sugar in it. He was saying that the calories from sugar that are in there are 28 calories total when it comes to how much is in there from the sugar in Shakeology. He goes, it's a third of a piece of fruit. So if people question and say, oh, there's too much sugar, he's like, it's a third of a piece of fruit. Like, do people think that's too much sugar? And most commonly people don't. But when you put it in that frame mind, people always keep thinking like added sugars over and over. And there is organic cane sugar in there. He's like, but a lot of these other like shakes don't have organic cane sugar. And when it's not organic, of course, we know there's a higher risk of, pesticides and chemicals that are obviously not good for us. But also when it's certified, he said that it's not made from corn. And a lot of times he said those are higher. That's the wrong type of sugar. Is basically you don't want to get it from a corn product. You're trying to get it from actual organic, like the sugar plant and not corn, which is then higher in carb as well. So those were some of the basics on Shakeology. And then there was Kim Carver, who's actually coming out to Boston tomorrow night, actually. And they were talking about how, which once again, shame on me, I didn't even look at, but on the Coach Online office, after you sign someone up as a new coach, then they have this 30-minute, 30-hour, 30-day kind of thing that you can go into under training. And basically what they said is in the first 30 minutes, you sign someone up to be a coach, you send them the coach orientation video that Jeff Hill does. And then within the first 30 hours, you have them complete the first 30 business checklist that's also in there, because I've now since gone to look. And then within the first 30 days, you want to make sure that that coach is welcomed to the group, which I think everyone in here does obviously really, really well. Completed the coach basics group, so coach boot camp, which obviously Dana has an awesome one and that we feed people into. And you want to try to get them to get at least 1 SC point. Okay. Obviously nowadays that would be really like 2, because Shaco's kind of moved up to 2. The reason why is that gives them the momentum to believe in this business and gives them momentum to feel like they're part of this amazing community. And also when you get a new coach, the first month that they sign up and they get at least 1 SC point, it adds a point to you for elite points. And all those things kind of add up when you're trying to look towards getting premier and getting elite. So really push. I know for me, when I've had someone, I haven't really pushed, I kind of said, go at your own pace. And I think that's fine. But also be aware that, you don't want them to feel like, oh, they're just being thrown off into something and there's not a lot of this. And then they kind of drift off because they don't see the importance. But getting them to be a part of these groups, being a part of these team calls, it's huge. This is your weekly team meeting. People shouldn't be thinking about it other than that. If you're at work and you just say 8 a.m. work meeting, teachers conference, I'm just not going to go. What would they say? So like, try to go. I was the person that was butting out of every single one of these Zoom calls when I first started, and my business did jack shit. So trying to be a part of these. And if you cannot, that's understandable, but then catch the replays. But you learn so much from these. So really trying to get people and let them know the importance of it right off the bat for your coaches, because I think they will like it and just be kind of more connected. Okay, I'm going to finish up soon. I know we're getting going. Bonnie Engel. Instagram stories, basically. She said, how do you convert followers? So people that just follow you on Instagram. She said, you want to show basically every day where you are in your life. You want to show health, fitness, something. It could be a video of you working out. It could be, she has a lot of them on hers. She wants to share every day her goofy and funny personality. She wants to talk about the business every day. She even talks about things since she's pregnant now about like her stomach itches all the time. And she's talking about belly creams and she's getting like polls and like asking people questions for feedback. So it's pulling in the mom group. She posts her dog, like she posts other random things a lot, but she's just posting her. She's not posting sales stuff. She's not posting. She does share stories of progress of how her coaches are doing. She shares progress about how her challengers are doing, but real life things that people will connect with. She said, you really should be making a list of why you feel you are different because of Beachbody, and not everyone's going to be the same. So it might be for me, the Beachbody has made my life different because of the fact that I'm able to reduce work hours. I feel healthier than I did, 5 years ago. My diabetes is in better control. I feel like I'm a better wife and mom because I feel like I have so much more energy than I ever did when I was 20 pounds heavier and just was lacking a lot of drive. You got to see what is you and why this is important for you. It's the friendships, it's the connections. There's a lot, but if you go and just make a list one day of all the reasons why Beachbody has changed your life and you're sitting there and you're struggling to say, what am I going to do for a post? Pick from that, pick something from there and then post about it. Let me see here. Use your story as a public sneak peek all the time. So we don't just want to have a monthly sneak peek into coaching. We want to have a daily sneak peek into coaching, all the reasons, and follow a lot of these top coaches that are on there a lot. Follow the Christina Delgados, follow the Bonnie Engels, follow the Danas, follow everyone that you get. Everyone has a different vibe, and what works for you isn't going to be necessarily works for someone else. But I follow them because I like to kind of see what they're doing and what's working for them, especially being a top coach. Follow Kim Fitzpatrick. She goes live a lot. And share, she said, and this was interesting because I think I do share the discount coach opportunity, obviously quite a bit, but she said, if you're sharing the opportunity as a discount, you are teaching the people that you're recruiting that this is really a discount business. And she said, you want to basically be upfront about the expectations in general of Shakeology is a freaking bomb because X, Y, and Z. And this is why it's important for you. So you don't want to just do BOD. You want to do the challenge pack because of X, Y, and Z. You want to have the containers, because if you're just exercising, you're never doing the meal plan piece of it. We only know that, meal plan gets you, exercise gets you so far. The meal plan is like 70 or 80% of this. So we need to share that these programs were designed for a reason. And if you're only doing a piece of it, you're not going to see the results that everyone's kind of posting on the pages. And that's what they're seeing. They're seeing these insane results and they're saying, I want that. Okay, well, if you want that, you need to follow the program. And if you're not going to follow it all, I can't promise you that you're going to get those results. And then, let's see here. She kept saying random things like, where's your train going? What are you going to be doing with this? Share all these things. Like, where do you see yourself going? Why are you doing this? Why do you want to do Beachbody? Like, is it to be a stay-at-home mom? Is it to be just, extra money to help with mortgage and not have that, on your husband's plate or whatever it is? But she said, you always have to know where you're going. If you have no idea where you're aiming for a goal, then you're just going to be drifting in space. So my goals change. I am really annoying, and I made my husband write his goals because I just want to know. And I just want to tell, it does say help Kelly more. So I just want to know that was pretty nice. I didn't even tell him to do that. So I changed this quite a bit, and my goals have already changed because I had to get to 2-star. I wanted to get to 2-star by March 1st, and that's not happening. So I changed it, but it's still my goal, and it's right on my board above me what my goal is. I even have written down like what my elite rankings are each month, because I went backwards quite a bit from the end of last year to the beginning of this year, and that really annoys the heck out of me. So I want it visually in my face, because I now know that if my team isn't hitting Success Club, I'm not getting anywhere. If I'm not getting more coaches, there's no shot at Premier, and I want it in my face what I need to do to kind of get there. So I think we all just need to set a goal, and whether it's, and set a start date, we'll start a date for it. I want Diamond by X date, and do whatever you can to get there. So quick, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. We've all heard that before, but it truly is. If you're kind of flying by the seat of your pants, if I didn't have like a plan each day of kind of coming into like what I was going to at least try to focus on, then I'm going to be drifting. I'm going to be responding to people here. And then my Facebook is going to go ding, ding. And then I'm going to go right to a friend, and I'm going to be doing, not what I intended to do. So you really want to kind of come out in general and say, I want a monthly, a calendar in advance to kind of know what is going on. So you always know where to invite to. You always are going to know, when the next coach boot camp is. You're going to know the next coach sneak peek. You're always going to want to know all these dates. So get a calendar and write them in so you can constantly be inviting to them. Have your goal. Let me see here. Oh, actually, one person did say this, which is interesting. Melanie Mitro, she said she never does. I know I tend to do a lot of my challenge groups around the middle of the month or towards the end. She said in August, she never will do it at the end because it's always back to school shopping and no moms want to pay any money on that. So she always tries to do it at the beginning of the month for that one to get it in, and then when they go back to school. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But anyway, she just trying to plan in advance and come up with a plan. And the final thing that Carl had said, everyone that got up there and talked, they had to write in a Sharpie one word that came to them regarding Beachbody. And, some people was love, some people hope, or just empowerment, whatever it is. But each of the top people got up there and said stuff. I think Carl's was love. And his final message as we were leaving is he said that he walks into corporate every single day and he says the same quote to himself. And it's his way to kind of pump himself up to get ready for the day. And he said, I always tell myself, I dedicate this moment to the service of love instead of fear. I can't live in fear. I have to always know that the reason I'm doing this job is because of how much I love people, how much I want to see people succeed. I want them to live their healthiest life. I want them to see how far they can go and just how special they are, blah, 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 that that we shouldn't be living in a fear to invite. We shouldn't be in a fear to invite towards coaching, towards this opportunity, because if we have that fear, we all, our coaches had that fear, we would never be here. We would not be in this place. And I think we are all on this call because something has hit us when it comes to how special this opportunity is. And we need to treat this like the opportunity it is, which can be huge financially for our families, whether this is your full-time thing or a part-time thing. It doesn't matter. It's that you are giving people an opportunity to change their lives when it comes to physically and mentally how they are. And a lot of other jobs, we don't have that. I'm a nurse, and I can say that I look forward to coming home and doing this more than my job, which kind of stinks. But I feel like I'm working with an environment of people, population that want to see change, rather than people coming into my office every day. And my first patient this morning told me to fuck off. I was like, awesome, this is a great day. And they don't want to, most of them are there because the doctor is telling them they have to come to see me. They don't want to make a change. And it's the same thing over and over every appointment. We are having people come to us, or we're reaching out to them and giving them a chance to help them get to their goals and to see them succeed and actually push them there and cheer them on along the way. And other programs that are out there, there isn't that. It's, here's this, diet, here's this, here's that, go do it. And they're going to fail like 99% of the time. And, thankfully, at least the people we have in our groups, I'm seeing so much success from people. There are always going to be some people that are going to, jump ship, and that's fine. But we have been given an amazing opportunity, and to see how much it's changed for all these top coaches, it's insane to see financially what is happening to them. One of them just bought a freaking plantation for their whole family. I was like, what? And did that happen overnight? No, it takes hard ass work. So it comes down to the basics. You got to invite, you got to build, you got to form, and it can't be on a Saturday morning thing. It needs to be an everyday thing, and really consider it like your job that you want to show up for every day. And it might be a small percentage of the time. And if you got an hour or 2 hours a day, and that's what you have to dedicate it. Just really dive in and know what you got to do for that short condensed period of time, because that can make huge changes in just that short amount of time, as long as you are, focused on that time during that period of time. But I will say, do whatever you can to get there. I obviously left really excited. I was sending mass messages to all these people. I even did my own sneak peek on Sunday night for people in my group. I just said, I'm going to do my own coach sneak peek and see what happens. And it was a girl that was she was BOD only. She would never do anything else 1 week ago. She got on the call, and at midnight, she goes, I'm in. And tonight she sold her first thing. I was like, woo! So I'm like, you just got to share that opportunity, because even though we think everyone knows it's out there, so many people don't know about Beachbody. So many people don't know about Beachbody and the opportunity that this park gives. So share it. That's it, guys. Got any questions?
I love it. Got me all fired up. I love what you just shared about what Carl said. I think that's such a powerful reminder, and just the reminder that I have had to remind myself of this lately too. And that's part of what I shared in the team page today, is because I've been feeling stressed out lately, and why I made a new schedule and discipline and boundaries and time and things like that. Because guys, this business is such a friggin' blessing. And when it starts to feel like a burden, you need to change something, right? Whether it's how you're working the business, or if you're not actually taking the action you need to take to see things happen. But when you are in it and you are engaged and you are seeing people have successes and you're feeling that change in your life, and you start to see things happen like Kelly's talking about, where somebody says, hell yeah, I want to do this, and they join you, and you see all of that momentum starting, that's when this business is so friggin' fun. And I love, Kelly, what you say. Just this business can change people's lives in so many incredible ways, and we have to get the F over ourselves when you have fear about sharing it. Because reality is, what's the worst that's going to happen? People say no. And then you go talk to the next person and the next person and the next person. That is how a team like this is founded, with all of these incredible coaches doing this for so many different reasons, because one person had the courage to invite, right? It all starts with you. It starts with you. So
you guys, knowing that I was there didn't know anyone. There were so many of you that could be at that next year together and have a freaking blast together. Like it would be, I went to Rodeo Drive and pretended to be Pretty Woman. I went to the hotel and I was like pretending to be Pretty Woman with this girl. I had lunch, I'm like, I'm going there and I'm going to have lunch there. Like we just made it fun. And I didn't even know these girls. And obviously the connection with our team and you guys, I do have to say, back up, because I was talking about the whole thing with Patrick before. There is pros and cons of obviously being under a huge team network, but I have to say his team was so big that when I was talking to them about things like the 25th hour, like we were literally doing power hours every day, like, and we did our workouts every day, and it was fun to kind of do it together. We didn't make joke. They were like, oh, let's get up at 5 a.m. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, let's do it. But I'm like, I can't say no. I'm in a room with them. So I got up and we went down to the lobby. We even like started doing our power hour. No, it was pitch black, nothing there in California. And I was asking, like, do you guys have like a place to put people, like in case someone says no or not right now? And we were talking about the 25th hour, and they're like, no. And they're like, what is this 25th hour? So I was talking about that, and they're like, and she like paid for that? And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, that is insane. And then they get an invite to this leadership retreat that Patrick's doing in Florida as well. And they said, oh, well, his leg is he has too many people. So he only invited his right leg and that team. And I was like, so you guys didn't get to do anything? And they were like, no. And I'm like, even if you earned it? And he was like, no. He said another time we'll do something with the left, the left side. And I was like, oh, that kind of stinks. And it was just interesting. And another girl that was on their team, she's like, I don't even, because I'm not on his dominant side, that he doesn't even really talk to us a whole lot. So the girl felt like she has been creating documents on her own. She had no one to go to for questions. She said they're just too busy. So I was like, oh my gosh, like we don't have that. Like we have such a close, I didn't want to be mean, but I was like, we have a close group of people that we can easily ask these questions to. I'm like, I ask stupid text message questions to my coaches and whoever all the time. And there's never like a hesitation to like respond back. And I just feel like it was very interesting to see the closeness that we all have compared to seeing for them, there wasn't. So it just made me feel even more so like our team rocks. We know it, but now I really know it. And just the support that we have that I feel like a lot of coaches out there don't. They really don't. So use everyone in here and use the resources that we have and the groups to be able to all help each other, because this really is a team approach. This isn't one against everyone else. We're all here to help each other, and if we all do that, we're all going to succeed. But it was nice. It was really nice to see that. And I kind of walked away being like, haha. So.
Team culture, baby.
Hey, Kelly,
Yes.
you were mentioning, and you said this in our chat the other day, the sneak peek you did in your own group. You're talking about you posted in your challenge group saying, hey, I want to do a sneak peek of like the coach life, or like, what are you talking about?
So I actually went live for my first time on Instagram, and I actually said, it came right out. I actually didn't even think, I didn't even know what I was going to do going live. I was like, I need to go live. Like Bonnie tells me I need to go live. Like I'm going to go live. So I went live and I wanted to share like what coaching was about. And then very quickly I was like, and if you want to come and I'm going to do a live sneak peek at 9:00 at night on Sunday, blah, blah, blah. Come join me. If you have any interest, let me know. And then all of a sudden I was like, what did I just do? And so I had a bunch of people that said they were going to jump on, and then they didn't all by any means, but I had a couple of people hop on, and it went for an hour and a half, and there was a lot of questions, but really great dialogue. And I think because I was just like talking to them and just sharing it, it wasn't like a crazy format. I was just like, here you go. And I had like a setup of what I wanted to talk about, basically like a sneak peek. I was talking about like how do you make money, and common objections and things like that. And that was literally, we hung up at 10:30, and then at 11:59 I get a ding on my phone, and she's like, I want in. I've been looking for an opportunity to me to be home and to be able to make money fitness wise. I have a dietetic background. I want in now. And I was like, oh my God. And so we got her a completion pack. And then today she was like, the person I'm doing is pregnant. She just wants VOD. And I'm like, that's okay. That's okay. But she did it tonight. She's so excited. She's written me like 20 times today. She's like, I just can't thank you enough for this opportunity. She's like, can I get your address so I can send you a thank you card? And I was like, oh my God, you don't need to send me a thank you card. But I was like, but it was really sweet. And then the other girl is like considering it. And I got a bunch of messages as I was on my video, which I don't know how to tape record the call. So I couldn't tape record it and then use it for later because I am like technology messed up. So I didn't even get to tape record it. And I had all these people chiming in saying, oh my God, I was out, I got in late. Like, can I catch the replay? And I was like, there's no replay. So I was like, all the fails that you do when you're figuring this out. See, guys, you can still fail at a lot of this. And so then I said to them, would you be open to doing another one some other time? And they were all like, yes. And, a couple of them had some major stuff that just came up health-wise, but then they're like, we really do want to know more. So I'm just going to keep following up with them. And those are people that I reached out with cold market to Instagram that I thought just looked great. And they were really great saying that they really are interested. They just were either on vacation or blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to follow up with them and try to do more of a one-on-one. And 2 or 3 said they definitely wanted to be able to do that. So doesn't hurt to try.
That's awesome.
Dana, you can teach me how to record this shit so that I can have a record.
Like really, really fancy and really technical. You look at the bottom and you hit record.
Oh shit. I just saw that. Wait, so what do you do?
And then it just stores to like an MP3 on your screen, and then I just drag it into YouTube.
So I'm special. All right. Thank you for that lesson tonight, Dana.
Does anybody else have questions for Kelly? Kelly, this was fantastic. Thank you.
Sorry if I'm scatterbrained, guys, but that's how my brain works. So hopefully you guys learned some good tidbits. But bottom line is start Insta stories, do one within the next 24 hours. You can do it. And then you need to post every day. You need to invite. You need to share. If you don't, you're going nowhere.
And you need to be clear on where it is you're going.
Vision.
I just
one more thing. I posted this in the comments, but Kelly, would you be able to put all the Shakeology notes somewhere?
Yes, I will pull them together.
Thank you.
I will make them much nicer than that.
Kelly, with what you said about the whole getting to 1-star, just so you guys were aware, New Leadership Conference, most of you probably know that it used to be 2-star that you had to be, right? Which made it a little more challenging because it's, it's only 1 diamond difference, but that's a significant difference as you are just starting to build a team. That was why I actually missed it the first year because I had a diamond quit. But I just want to say, if this is a goal that you have for yourself, simply just kind of like to break down to you like how this consistency factor really can make this totally possible for you. If you're like, oh my God, I really want to do that, but oh my God, that seems really scary. So think about it like this. Okay, let's just say you're not a diamond coach yet, okay? If you're hitting Success Club every single month and you have your diamond tracker, right? I mean, I'm just going to do this real quick to show you because I don't know about you, but I'm a visual person. But say you are hitting Success Club every month, right? So say this is can you guys see this? I have writing on the other side of it. Can you see this now? If I do it like this, can you see this?
That's better.
Okay, so here's your diamond tracker, right? And your diamond tracker basically is your 8 people with your 2 emeralds. Like 2 of those 8 are your emeralds, right? Really simple. Like I think we make diamond out to be way harder than it actually is, simply because of the consistency factor. Like if you are consistently showing up and building every single month, diamond really isn't that hard, right? Okay, so let's say you hit Success Club this month, okay? We're just pretending like you're bare bones, basically nothing in your business, right? So now you have 3, okay, from hitting Success Club this month. Now, let's say you hit Success Club again next month. So now you have your 6. And you could potentially say that maybe someone drops off and cancels Shakeology. So maybe you have to refill another one of those spots, right? But let's just say someone drops off, you hit Success Club again that 3rd month. So now you have your 8, right? You have your 8 in those spots. Now let's just say you tell 2 of your challengers that are getting kick-ass results and they have more energy for their kids and they've lost 15 pounds and they're really loving the challenge group, and you say, hey, why don't you come check out this sneak peek that my team and I are running and see if this could be something for you, right? Or you talk to somebody else and you share that opportunity. Or you have a challenger that's like, oh my God, my mom thinks my results are fantastic and my sister wants to join me and my cousin and my neighbor and whatever, right? And so you help them learn to help 2 people. And so bam, you have an emerald. And then that next girl is like, you know what? I have some debt I'd like to pay off, and I saw that in the sneak peek, right? And so you get her in a new coach boot camp, and she learns how to help people, and you help 2 people, and then bam, you have a diamond in less than 3 months, right? And so the thing that I want you to remember with anything in this business is that if you can help someone, if you can learn how to help one person, which every single one of you know how to do that, right? Then you can build an emerald. And if you can help someone, you can teach someone how to help someone. And you have all of the resources and the trainings and the systems and the groups and the coach sneak peeks and the trainings to plug people into. The thing that you have to be consistent doing is going out and finding the people who need your help. And if you can do that consistently enough, it's totally possible. Like totally friggin' possible. So I really want to just kind of remind you guys how important that consistency factor is, because that is what makes bigger things seem so difficult, is when it's not constantly compounding. And that's why we say the compound effect, the consistency is so key, because it is. If you just slowly don't overextend yourself and go balls to the wall and then burn out and fall back and, say, I don't want to do this for 2 months, right? If you just show up small, things consistently every single day over the course of a month, you hit your goals. Next month, you hit your goals. The next month, you hit your goals. And 6 months from now, you can be in an entirely different place in your business. So I think a lot of what you shared, Kelly, tonight really lays that in there. And the fact that you earn this opportunity for yourself speaks to that consistency factor too. So thank you.
It is, as Dana said, it's not, I used to get always frustrated because I think it literally took me over a year to hit diamond. And now looking back on it, I know it was hard because I just couldn't, I would always say I can't find active coaches, there's something to be said about that, because I didn't have someone on those that wanted to even invite someone or have someone, so I put my husband. And then I started working his 2, because I knew I could easily get him to emerald. So that would help. So I just need to then really find one big person, at least to get me there, and then start seeing where I could go. So many of us have that. You might have a parent that is jumping on board here. You might have a significant other. You might have an aunt that desperately needs this because she needs to get healthy for her family. We want active coaches, but to at least get to diamond first, you can also have some like as Bonnie did, she got to 2-star, because of her mom and her husband, and now she's insane star, so there's different places to start. Just don't feel like
is insane star legit, right, Kelly?
That's my new term. I'm hashtagging it insane star. And so it's doable, but I know I've been there, because I would always see people and be like, oh, that you can just totally get there. And I'd be like, shut up. I cannot just get there. I need someone to help me. I'm sitting here and I could sign people up, but no one is helping get me those 2 emeralds. And sometimes you just have to think out of the box of how to get those. But give people the success in your groups. It goes back to that. Support them, give them success. They're going to naturally want to help. They might not want to coach at that point, but at least maybe they'll have some people that want to do it with them, which will help at least get you to these ranks, to get you kind of moving up the line. But you all can do it. You all can do it.
And not for nothing, when people say no, don't take it like personally offensively. I think that's when you get in trouble, is when you're like, oh my God, I just suck as a coach and nobody wants to join me. It has nothing to do with you. Don't take it personally. You will find those people who see the value in you and what you have to offer. It's just being persistent and patient and consistent in finding your tribe.
Just share that opportunity, guys, because I never shared it. I shared the challenger opportunity and getting into my challenge groups. I never shared the coaching opportunity and what coaching was doing for me up until, honestly, recently. And I feel as though now I'm getting more people that are interested in coaching, or at least wanting to talk about it. And it's because they're seeing by my post what I am doing. And a lot of these are getting to events and having these awesome opportunities, like Mexico, like this, like that they want to be a part of, and it's very exciting for them as well. So that and get to these things, because that's going to be such a great way for you to share this coaching opportunity.
Love it.
All right.
Sneak peek, Sunday night, FY. Perfect follow-up for that little spiel right there. Get on it.
We'll make a post on your Instagram story right now. No.
You can post a screenshot of our team call, though.
I've already taken a picture. Well, I'll take it again. Smile, everyone.
I videoed you, Kelly.
Oh, I can't get a picture of me like tape. That looks kind of cheesy. I'm like tape recording myself. All right, cool.
All right, ladies. Thank you, Kelly, so much for sharing.
No problem.
So many incredible nuggets, and I think you have everybody fired up.
Hopefully. If not, let me know and I'll light some more fire.
Anybody else feel tired before team calls and then feel like they ran 16 miles and drank Energize once calls are over? Yeah. All right, ladies. Love you. Thanks, Kelly. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.